Today, everybody, with us is Monica Payne, and glad to have you here.
Thanks.
She is from our Citrus County Extension Office, and we're going to talk about food today. I guess fiber content will be the topic, right?
Right. Just a reminder about dietary fiber being very essential to our health. A lot of Americans don't get enough fiber in their diets. We get probably about half of what's recommended, if you're typical.
If we're typical. Yeah.
So the first thing is we need to realize that we want to try to get our fiber from food first. Actually, all of our vitamins and minerals and other macronutrients we want to get from food first. And then if there's a need to get more, then you consult your doctor about a supplement and how to do that properly. But so we're focusing obviously on food. Fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, whole grains are the places to get fiber in our diet.
Well, you've brought a whole bunch of stuff here today, and I'm surprised at some of this stuff. Popcorn is one thing, I guess, that is full of fiber.
Right, it's a whole grain. A lot of times people think of popcorn as being, a negative thing because of all the things we add to it.
Yeah.
But actually, it is a whole grain. When you pop the popcorn, you get the whole kernel is there, and it pops. It becomes inside out, and you have it all still there. So that's why it's a whole grain. All grains start out as whole grains. A lot of times we refine them, or industry does, to make them more shelf stable, make them cook faster, and that takes out basically the dietary fiber, the B vitamins, the iron, all the good stuff. They can add back in the vitamins and minerals, but they can't add back in the fiber. So enriched grains are grains that have actually been refined. Those vitamins have been added back in, but not the fiber. So they're not the same. They're better than refined grains that don't have anything added back in, but they're not the same as whole grains because of the fiber content is not there.
You've got a lot of things here like spinach.
Yes.
Bananas, of course, we're familiar with that being high in fiber content,
right.
And potassium.
And we always think about potassium. Actually, all the fruits and vegetables are, good sources of potassium and fiber. So I just brought a few things, especially the ones that have edible seeds or skins, like an apple, oranges. You wouldn't be eating the skin with the orange, but it's a good source as well. The blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, all the berries basically have edible seeds. So those are examples. I also put down the vegetables, obviously, kidney beans, other beans, legumes, dried beans, and peas basically are all good sources of fiber, plus they're high in protein. So they actually can fit. We're really looking at different food groups. Obviously, fruits and vegetables, making half our plate fruits and vegetables. The reason for that is because of fiber, partially, and also because of the other great things, the phytochemicals that the fruits and vegetables have. Half are grains, whole grains, okay? But the beans are interesting because they can actually fit in the vegetable group or
and
the protein group. So you just count them once, but it's nice because a lot of times we have too much in the protein. Americans actually consume probably more meat and poultry and things like that. Fish is in there as well, peanut butter. So you can actually count them in the vegetables and allow yourself a little more space for the other meats and stuff.
And don't forget your dairy products.
And the dairy is,
also.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so basically so it's a part of a whole healthy eating plan, which is from the Dietary Guidelines of 2010. ChooseMyPlate.gov has more information on that. But we're just focusing kind of on the fiber-rich foods, which again are from the fruits, vegetables, grains group, typically. So, but if we eat beans, we can actually count them in the protein because they're high in protein, high in fiber, low in fat naturally, unless we add fat to it to cook it, which we don't want to do. We want to make it more nutrient dense and leave it the way it is.
Lettuce is another good
lettuce,
product.
for salads, things like that. Sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, eating the skin, scrub the skin real well and clean it so you can eat it later. Whole grains would be the whole wheat bread, the cereals that are high, and there's different you want to read the label, nutrition facts label.
Very,
Don't want
very
forget
important to do that.
That's where you find out what's in your food, the fiber will be listed under dietary fiber in grams as well as percent daily value. 3 grams or more in a serving is considered, a good source of that fiber. So
You want to, another thing that I always look for is the sugar content.
True.
When you're checking cereals, because they can be,
Yes.
pretty deceiving. Some of those cereals are very high in sugar content.
right, so you definitely want to look at that as well, because you don't want to get all this added stuff you don't want while you're trying to get your fiber. So
Very true.
definitely, good point. So always read the nutrition facts label, find out how much is in a serving, see what you're actually eating of that, and then see if it's a good source or not. If it's 5% or lower in the daily value, it's considered low in the nutrient. If it's 20% or higher, it's considered high, high.
Very high,
That's
okay.
what you want. Yeah, in fiber, you want 20%. I have one here was 5 grams of fiber, like in a slice of bread. That would be considered high.
Now you got a couple of box
So
products
yeah,
also.
I brought those because you can do like whole grain crackers, whole wheat crackers instead of just regular crackers. Would be an easy substitution. Whole wheat pasta would be another thing. Whole grain pasta are ways. That one I think has 5 grams and that's 20% of the daily value of fiber. So, just different, always read the label and pay attention. It doesn't
Check out
matter the
that label
brand
on the
so
side
much,
there.
but the fact that you're reading that label and seeing how much is in there. So you can always make substitutions. A lot of times we're doing, as in the grains group, a lot of Americans are doing the white rice, white pasta, white bread. So if we can just make those substitutions, do whole wheat bread instead, and get like at least 3 grams in a slice of bread, that would be good, because then you're getting 6 grams when you eat a sandwich, that kind of thing. So it's all adding up throughout the day.
You have some great ideas on your website, solutionsforyourlife.com.
Absolutely. In fact, there's fact sheets on this subject, of course. So about how to get more fiber into our diet and for health and stuff like that. So it's a really good idea to check that out and use the information.
We encourage you to do that, or call the Extension office here in Citrus County. If you need more information, Monica's always a wealth of knowledge, and we're always happy to have her in. And we'll have you back again soon.
All right. Thank you
Monica,
very much.
thank you very much for joining us. And stand by. We're going to talk about the American Red Cross in our next segment of Citrus Today.
Do an audio check.
Here we go, everybody. Welcome back to the Citrus Today Show, and would like to welcome in this segment Erin Pagan.
Yes.
And she is with the American Red Cross. You're actually the Director of Communications.
I am.
And a lot of stuff to tell us about this morning. Where do you want to start at?
Well, I'd love to just remind everyone that March is Red Cross Month, so this is a tremendous month to remember Red Cross and to find out more about us if you're not already connected with us. One of the really exciting announcements this month was that we're working with Hard Rock, if anybody loves the Hard Rock casinos and restaurants and hotels. And we have a co-branded pen that is Hard Rock and American Red Cross.
Very nice.
And this can be purchased at any of the Rock shops for $12. And also online. You can go to hardrock.com and find it in the lapel pin section. And part of the proceeds benefit American Red Cross. And this will be available all year. And the hope is that we'll be able to have a new version next March for Red Cross Month next year, and it'll be a collectible item. So we're really excited about that, and we've gotten tremendous support from Trace Adkins, the country superstar.
Yes.
And so he is not only raising money for American Red Cross on the Celebrity Apprentice this season, but he's really helping promote the Hard Rock co-branded pen. So very exciting to have that sort of support and to help with awareness for American Red Cross.
The American Red Cross is one of the first responders usually on the scene in case of a natural disaster that you may have experienced one in your life at some time and been fortunate enough to have the Red Cross show up. In fact, we got some pictures here, looks like, of people who are benefiting. They coordinate efforts at shelters and help out in multitudes of ways. There's also mobile units that you have that go out and deliver food. There's medical supplies that you deliver. And what are these folks doing here?
The volunteers are certainly gathering supplies and putting them into comfort kits that go out and help people in the community, and our emergency response vehicles, which are the mobile feeding trucks, are able to help deliver comfort kits when people have been affected by disaster. A lot of people may not know that in the Mid-Florida region, which is essentially what serves Citrus County, includes 13 counties, and in our region we respond to an average of 3 home fires a day.
Wow.
Which most people would have no idea that we're that busy when there's not a hurricane, not a tornado, not wildfires. So certainly we are busy all the time. In addition to helping people get prepared for the bigger disasters, we are constantly responding to people who are experiencing their own personal disasters every day. And so we are able to provide food, clothing, shelter, health services, and disaster mental health services. You know, everyone's emotionally and mentally affected by losing what they love. And so the fact that we're able to come in and help them get ready for recovery is the most important part of that.
Too often, and I do the same thing when I think of the Red Cross, I think of big disasters, but you're right. There's small disasters to single homes. When a fire takes place, you are there to help with all the things that you aforementioned. How do folks out there help out with the efforts that the American Red Cross does?
Well, the number one way to help here locally is to become a volunteer, and we need all types of people, from high school students all the way to seniors. And we have lots of different ways for people to help out. We have a disaster action team, which is they're the folks who go out at 2 a.m. and help with the family that's been affected by a fire. But we also need administrative support in our offices. We need people to go out and speak to community groups. So again, Red Cross is always kept top of mind, and people really have a good understanding of what we do. So I don't want anyone to ever feel like if they can't get up at 2 a.m. and go out to a fire, that Red Cross can't utilize their skills and talents. So certainly going to our website, which is www.redcross.org/mid-Florida or mid-Florida.
Okay.
And there on the left-hand side of the page, you'll see the word volunteer. Click there. And then in the middle of the page, you'll see either youth or adult application. And you click on that, and that'll take you directly to the very first step of becoming a volunteer with us. So we would love to have as many people as possible come and just if you have questions, we want to answer the questions, make sure people feel comfortable and confident, and get interested in helping out.
Very good. How many counties again is encompassed in this Central Florida area?
We're 13 counties.
13 counties.
The most northern county is Flagler, the most southern is Highlands, and from Citrus on the west all the way to Brevard on the east.
Big territory to cover.
It is. Unfortunately, we have wonderful staff and volunteers who are out here in Citrus, Marion, and Hernando, and so they're able to be out here and making sure that the local needs are met, which is really exciting. But we always need more volunteers to help our staff.
Now, is there a mobile unit right here in Central Florida Red Cross has that goes out to these fires and whatnot? Or?
Absolutely. We
Okay.
actually have 5 emergency response vehicles throughout the region.